So this experiment is the clock time reaction experiment. I watched the video. I tried to write down what he was doing at the time he was doing it. I already pre-measured everything. I labeled my little containers just to make it easier on myself so I can keep track of what I'm doing. Hopefully I do this correctly because I only have one bottle of this iodine tincture, and in the video he used the whole thing. So I'm going to get started. So the first thing I need to do is crush my two 1,000 milligram tablets of vitamin C. When he said you don't have to make it a powder form, but you don't want big chunks, but it might be easier just to make it a powder form. I think that's pretty good. Then I'm going to put it in my little cup here labeled with 60 milliliters and the vitamin C. So let's stick that in there. Then I'm going to add my water. I know in the experiment it called for distilled water. I looked it up online. They said that purified water should not interfere with things, so hopefully that'll be true. I've already pre-measured this. Now I want to stir it, kind of get it a little dissolved, stir it for 30 seconds, he said. This water is room temperature, just to make a note of that. To pour it in here to get it to filter. Oh, let me move my hydrogen peroxide stuff just so you know that I have this out here. It's filtering. While it does that, I'm going to move on to solution B. So we're going to measure, where'd my spoon go? Let me get a new spoon. Going to measure a little bit. I think this is the right one. Yeah. Of cornstarch. He looked like he had about the tip of a spoonful. So I'm gonna stick that. Actually, which one do I want to stick it in? Stick it in here. And then I'm going to add 350 milliliters of H2O, which is this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this because I need to put this in the microwave. I'm going to stir it up a little bit, and then I'm going to stick it in the microwave for about until it's boiling. All right, so we're back. This was it was boiling. It was bubbling as I just poured it out, or took it out of the microwave. I'm going to pour it. Try to not make a mess doing this. Pour it in my coffee filters. Okay, it's coming trickle on. Alright, so it took a while for that to drain. I don't know, this looks more cloudy than it did on the video, I think, so I'm not sure if this worked appropriately, but we're now going to pour it into this thing, and then we're going to add our 150 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide. So it came out to about 400 milliliters. So on the presentation he had 500 milliliters, but I think it was taking forever to drain, so I'm not sure if I got the appropriate amount. Alright, so we're going to leave that alone for a minute, and then we're going to go ahead and go back to to the A solution. gonna stick my iodine, my I2 in here, and if this has the right concentration of vitamin C, this should become colorless. Obviously, iodine is very dark brown to start with, and it is. Check that out. It's actually working. So that was pretty cool. All right, good deal. And now I'm gonna add I'm gonna put it in this thing and then add enough to make 400 milliliters, just so we have equal parts here. Sorry, I gotta see what this is. Add 400 milliliters. Our wire. Okay. So now I'm gonna add mixture B and mixture A together. And we hopefully will see a dark blue. I'm gonna add 200 milliliters here. What is this? Yeah, 200 milliliters from here to 200 milliliters in here. And we'll see what happens. Sorry, 100 milliliters, because this thing only goes up to, and now 100 milliliters of this. So it might take a minute. Mix it up a little. And let's see if the dark blue color change happens. I do see it starting to, it looks like it's starting to change maybe. It could take a few minutes. It could take, according to the guy on the internet, the video, it could take a couple minutes depending on temperature and things. But he says when it happens really quickly. So we will wait and see. Alright, stop. It actually did change. It did take a minute. I wasn't recording, but I'm actually going to go, since I still have enough mixture, I'm going to go ahead and do it again and see if I can edit the video to show when it actually changes colors, because that was really cool. It happened instantaneously. Here it goes. So when these two solutions mixed, two reactions actually occurred. The hydrogen peroxide from solution B wanted to oxidize the iodide from solution A back into the iodine, but the ascorbic acid wanted to reduce it from the iodine to the iodide. It was quick, and the iodine doesn't last long. So eventually the vitamin C was used up by the hydrogen peroxide, so that the iodine, or the I2, accumulated and made a complex with the iodide, the I negative ions. They then formed a triiodide, which then made a complex with the cornstarch. When that happened, you saw the color change, the blue complex of the triiodide and starch. So as we learned, the concentration of the mixture itself as well as the temperature will have an effect of rate of change. And then also I did write down the chemical reactions that occurred. If we can zoom in on that. And so that was our clock time experiment.